tips for all of you that entrepreneurs out there that are trying to start businesses, do things. Just listen in.
Brands.
Learn from us.
Companies.
Yeah. Because we're gonna go through, I think, some of the steps just to get to the point of launch, right? Because you touched on there was so much work. There was a year's worth of work. The coffee shop opens up. There's been another half year of work building the brand out to launch nationally, where we're roasting our own beans, and we'll have all the other stuff that's available for nationwide, worldwide growth.
I think too, when you are taking it on, a lot of those things you could hire out, and you could have somebody else, which, I mean, we have an incredible team and have people who are carrying the load for sure. But a lot of the decisions are all running through you and us and our little conglomerate of people. So I think that also just takes time, because you have to go through all the steps, and you don't have someone just
exactly. And and we talk about being intentional with the things that we do, how we live our life. It's the same thing we want to do with anything we put our name on and are part of. Like, we want to live that same way, right? So we started off, it's green light, go. We're doing this coffee shop. So the first thing is like mission statement. What are we about? Like, how do you set something up at the very beginning that's going to then?
How do you pick a name?
That's what I'm saying. But before you do any of that, you gotta have like a direction, right? Like, you have like this foundation of like, this is who we are, and now every decision you make needs to be in alignment with who we are as a group and what we want to be about, right? It helps, because if you don't have a mission statement to start with, it's really hard to get a direction, I think. And so that was one of the first things that we started with, and being able to just collaborate on that together, and have our mission statement. This is who we are. This is what we're about. These are the values that we want to live by, and we want our company to be about, our employees to be about, help to kind of guide this direction, right? And it's a very serious thing that, like, once you have there, it's like, okay, well, now this is what we're about. Here's the next steps, which you get to the name.
Yeah.
Which we talked about for a while. And I actually just yesterday came across the list of all of like the different coffee names that we had. So much meaningful stuff of like meaning behind the words stuff, and we go back and forth on this for a while, and it's serious conversation, and as usual, it's usually me or Isaiah throws out there a sarcastic kind of a joke, do something light, and I go, well, how about Dodo Coffee Co? Dodo is what our boys, when like our oldest, Isaiah and Sarah's, Anna's sister, their oldest, jumping on the couch, being kids, 2-year-olds jumping on the couch up and down, first time they can jump onto the pillows down there, and it was
not really jump. It's like the jump that's just the fall into the
but it was Dodo for jumping. That was their thing, jump and
scream.
Dodo. And sure enough, I would just make a joke, and it's like, oh, actually, that's the one. But yeah, you go through all this stuff, and it's like, I thought it was good. It was nice, because it was kind of like all this. It's getting real serious, like all these things. It could be meaningful. All these things all these directions you can go. And it's like, sometimes the 2-year-olds just know best. And you stick to your guns and be like, well, let's have some fun with this one, and be able to like think about something that's very fond memory for us.
Yeah.
Some of the kids, like, it's
they're part of it.
They're part of it.
Yeah. And that's also the season of life that we're in, is just, we are in so much parent mode all the time, and having it kind of come back to that too, when things are getting serious and you are trying to like, push through some things, and being able to just have the perspective of the lightness and the joy and why we do things. And
yeah, so let me move on from there. Once you have a name, what do you do next? A font. Do you know how many fonts there are?
Way too many.
There's so many fonts.
Talk about saturation.
But yes. I mean, forget about the podcasts. People that are creating fonts. Stop. Stop. Paradox of choice. It's an economic term. It's a serious problem. And when you get to these websites that just have millions, it's literally, I think
and then the letter weight.
That's what I'm saying. How bold
Also.
do you want it to be? What is the letter weight? Is it slanted? Is it italic? How italic? Is it super italic? Or just a little like Tower of Pizza italic? I'm gonna get crushed for pronouncing that wrong. But the point is way too many of these things. And I know our team, we have a team of people that helped us get this stuff developed. And I know that they had to punch out so many computer screens with how many times we're like, no, it's just not right. No, more, send me more examples.
Sorry, Travis.
Sorry, Trav. So many fonts. It never ends. But we finally got it done. But then once you get a font, then you have like, oh, this is your logo font. This is the font for your logo, your icon. But then you're gonna have, these are some fonts that are related to this one that you can use for like merchandising, branding, other things, right? Mm-hmm. So then you have like a grouping of fonts, and there's rules about how you use them, which we also break. Anyway, so we got all that stuff down, and then the logo. And I want you to touch on the logo like situation.
Can we phone a friend? Dad, where are you? No, the logo.
Go ahead.
How do you want to talk about this?
All right, so this is what happened. We have our team. They put together some stuff for us, and like, hey, this is a direction to go with the logo. This is like what we think.
Okay,
works
I
well.
will say this. I really wanted it to be like single line, like the tattoos that are like a person's face. That's like, it kind of looks like a scribble, but then you look at it closer.
Never left the paper.
Yes, exactly, and it's like actually a beautiful portrait that was done in one single stroke.
Yeah. So the first like iteration that comes back isn't exactly what we were thinking, right? Like, wasn't exactly what we were thinking, and I think
a little more paint-ish.
Yeah. I think Anna's dad.
So cool.
Anna's dad, who is one of the members of the leadership group for Dodo. Nathan, I love you. I'm just going to speak honestly right now. But he took it upon himself to make sure that we got this logo right. And I was hesitant to even share the initial one with the group, but I think that dad just got really like, okay, that's not going to work. I need to do this. And he was here with us at the time because you were pregnant with our youngest.
Yeah.
And
the amount of dodos that were drawn may rival the amount of fonts that are on the internet.
We still find papers in our house that have just dodo scribbles all over the dodos. Dodos everywhere. Dodos. What do you think of this one? What do you think about that one? How's this one? At some point, the dodo bird just is like, you don't want to see another dodo bird. But we eventually got there. And guess who made it?
Who made it?
Dad. He did. Pushed through. It's just a story of perseverance. And I look forward to the movie that's going to be made on his perseverance and overcoming that. So we finally get all that done, right? Fonts, logos, all this stuff. We get a building, a crusty old house. By a crusty old house in Fayetteville, Arkansas, that I believe was used at one point as a gold pawn shop, right? The sign, at least, I think this is what happened. It was a gold pawn shop. Someone bought it.
Did the guy
lived there? And then eventually we bought it.
Yeah.
So it was a house. It was a gold resale.
I think it was kind of a few things.
A few things.
It was on a really busy street, like small, odd lot that has a creek on the back, so you can't really develop it. So it just kind of got left behind. Everything around it is developed, very commercial area.
But we put together a plan to kind of develop it, change it up, make it look nice, get a drive-through going through there. And, I think Isaiah and Sarah and Dad and Mom worked really hard.
And all their kids.
And all the kids worked really hard on getting that place to look really nice. So finally get that done. Building's open. We're rolling. Not yet, because we don't have any beans or equipment. Which is another whole thing. Where are you going to source your beans from? Which is a big deal. Mm-hmm. And so you're going through all the figuring out where are you going to get it from, how are you going to do it, who's your importer, right? Being intentional with finding those people, not just saying, well, we're just going to get, Arabica beans, because we want to be intentional. We want to get stuff that we know where it's coming from. We know
Yeah.
we know like the groups have been vetted that are a part of the whole process of growing the beans, harvesting them, and then getting them shipped out, and that we know we're getting quality stuff, and the people are getting taken care of. And so that was a big part of like the amount of time that goes into that, and finding people that have done the work on the front end of that also to be able to make sure that they've been to the farms, they've been to these places, and know the families that are running these. It's a big task, and then the equipment, finding what equipment you're going to use, building out all of the building out the inside of your shop, and then we decided we were actually like, well, why don't we just roast beans too?
Yeah.
So then it's buying a roaster. It takes 4 months to build one of those. Then you got to vent the thing. Then you got to season the thing.
Yeah. You also have to get the permits to put the vent in, which the permitting for everything was...
Permitting. It's insane. We did have the fire trucks called on us a few times. Also Dad. But you know what? We got that thing going. The roaster rolling. We were roasting our own beans, doing it well. And then we're building out the brand, the packaging. We want the packaging to be good. And I'm not going to talk too much about the packaging because I want it to show up and be like, boom, bang, kapow. It's onomatopoeia. Anyways, from there you go to the brand. Like that's part of the packaging, the brand build out, hiring people. This is a year and a half of work to get this thing to where it is now.